Uh, Tell me what kind of monitor you're looking at. Is it a monitor? Um, is this big enough? Do I need to increase the size? Okay. I know um, we have 27s, and um, things that appear large to us on we work with some folks on a laptop, and they're really squinting and trying to their best to hang in there with us, and that's the reason I ask. Gene, tell me about your company. Okay, all right, but you like QuickBooks. So security is something that's really important. Okay, okay. And you're tracking um, inventory? Are you tracking clients? You're tracking, um, do a lot of credit cards and stuff like that. Credit cards. Oh man. Yes, I don't think so. And as we go through this step by step, I think I can show you where you might possibly be able to run your whole business right out of this, including QuickBooks. I want to go over first of all and show you um, if we could take a look at our security and some of the things that we built in and the available integrations. One of them is QuickBooks and email. I know you're probably doing a lot of that. We're doing Mailchimp and is probably the one most called for. But yep, and your scheduling. Oh, absolutely. And it's talking about security and keeping your books kind of the way you want. You can actually have this system, and we can set it where you have you got it, and they can only. Have you used FileMaker before, Gene? Okay, right. Mm-hmm. Yep. But anyway, when we get into privilege sets, you probably you would without question have full privileges, but you probably have some people that wouldn't, and that they wouldn't be able to get into things like maybe even invoices or certainly not into your QuickBooks, any of that. Um, and you know, you would just have different people that would be able to get into different things that you would say and you would control. And as far as the different layouts and so forth, a lot of people work off of you know, we're going to move over in a moment, and you'll be able to. This is a value list that we use in setting up our projects, and this is kind of like, you know, software. We go through a discovery process, uh, and you and I have just started it. And then, you know, we got proposals. We do wireframing. We schema design. We build the tables and fields, et cetera, et cetera. And we involve people. Yeah, and we do have one of these programs that we use. I mean, this is um, yeah, right. Yes, but if we go to accounts, and you know, this is we just have some sample data in here. Um, but we would have an overview. We'd have a view of the projects, communications, sales orders, and accounting from this one place here. And I'll just hit edit, which will give you an idea of where you would start with a company or an individual and putting their data in, their address, their phone, you know, the contact information, and who you get in touch with, their addresses, etc. Oh yeah, big time. Okay. From here, we can do a quote. We can go to sales orders. We can do an invoice. We can do a new project, a payment. We can generate a statement. Um, and instead of going through these in a lot of detail, I'm just going to click on a few buttons here, and then I'm going to take you over to a place that I think, but you know, taking payments, providing invoices, sales orders, etc. But I want to go over to quotes. And quotes is one of those areas that obviously you work with a good bit. I'm assuming. Um, but before we do a quote, that this will lead into that. But if you were doing projects, and I would assume you would have a company that would call you and say, "Look, we've got this thing coming up, and we need this booth, and we need this in it, and we need that in it, and all that kind of stuff." Well, what we the way we approach it, and we find about 90% of the other people approach it. Number one, they want to keep files, and they want to whatever that is. I mean, you can um, exactly, and it's the easiest thing in the world. You drag it in, you save it, um, and you've got it, and it's part of um, your communications and staying up with people and time. I don't know whether you count time or not. Yes, but here's what we would do. We would start a project, and instead of doing a new one and going back over and doing it, I'll just show you that the way you would start it. It just fill in the blanks. And uh, yep, easy. Here's the normal way that that we find most people use it, and you might want to customize it a bit differently. But used to people talked about goals and they talked about action steps. Well, today we're talking about milestones and tasks. And you remember that thing that we looked at a moment ago, that value list? Number one, we can make whoever responsible for any one of those things. But remember when we talked about the discovery process and building tables and fields and layouts and wireframing, proposals, all that kind of stuff? Well, that's just kind of built in there. And what we would do is do put those in. We would set a time that they should be finished, save it, of course, and then from there we can click on that and we can add tasks. You know who's going to be responsible for it. Now that responsible person can step in here and assign all kinds of tasks to all kinds of different people. And we just got a couple things in there, and the due date, when estimated to have it finished, et cetera, et cetera. But oh, absolutely, yes. And keeping up with your communications, I know that the way we are, for example, the um, you reached out to us and said, I want to demo your project or your your software, and then it's a matter of we plug all that stuff in, um, a software unit, something similar to this, and we can see when you came in, we can see when we emailed you, we can see when we talked to you on the phone. We're going to have a process here where we can tell uh, uh, the demo and a lot of information. I've been making notes like crazy here. Uh, and something about where we want to go with this thing. And the first thing that we have to determine is whether this software is something that will solve your problem at all. And if it's not, we don't want you to buy it. And that sounds crazy to you, I'm sure, but um, the folks that we work with, we develop a relationship with that lasts for many years, hopefully. And that's that's just the way we do business. And if we have a piece of software that doesn't do the job for you, then you're going to be the most unhappy person in the world, and we don't want to be a part of that. So, at any rate, that kind of takes care of the projects. Now, as you complete things, and you're holding people responsible for, I don't know, you send these things out to different people, different pieces of it. Is that what you do? And then they would put it together as a kit somewhere, uh, like at a mall or wherever. And you know, staying up with each one of those tasks and knowing where you are. Boy, I'm getting some horrible feedback here. Are you getting that same feedback? Okay. It's every word I speak is coming back to me. Okay. Uh, yeah, that's better. It's still coming back, but that's okay. The Gantt charts, you know, as you complete these things within the project, it's going to keep you up with, you know, where you are, what percentage you finished, et cetera, et cetera. Um, the project estimate, whatever those numbers are, I don't know whether you keep up with those on a daily basis or what, but we um, are as users, and we got a few of them in here. Um, we have those tasks that feed into us, and we know what we're supposed to do on what date, et cetera, et cetera. We also have a call log that tells us who we should be staying in touch with, what the next call date is, um, and et cetera. And it invoices, if we got any outstanding invoices, what outstanding quotes are we working on, um, what should be, you know, be doing on a daily basis, and just keeping up with all that. And as you know, if you get enough clients with enough things going on, it can really be a challenge for you and your people. From there, I can view my accounts, and you probably have people that have 10 or 12 or even more accounts that you're trying to keep up with at any one time. You can go back to wherever that account is. From here, invoices, is that something that you're going to be dealing with, or you would like to work with that out of your CRM system? You think? Well, it okay, okay, I got you. Yeah, yeah. And you have sales orders that you work with? Okay, okay. What I want to go to here is if I can find one. Here's one that's open. But let's just say this was a brand new one. The way you build this, and here's where we would have all your products, and there's no limit to how many you could have in here. Okay, and then it's real simple. You can add a new line item, a new product, um, and if you wanted to add any of these to you just click on it, and you can build. Right. Mhm. Can you email me a copy of one of your quotes? Mhm. I wouldn't even pretend to be able to give you a quote until we worked all the way through this thing, and we have an idea of where you want to go, and without having something to go by and know what we have to do to customize it, um, and that's perfect. And that's the way to approach it. This uh, we hear horror stories about people getting quotes and prices and all kinds of stuff off the top of people's heads that they don't. Number one, they don't know what they're. Well, forgive me, I'm not going there. But it's it's not good business practice, and we just um, if we move forward with you, we would certainly uh, want to do it in the right way, and we want to make sure that this software was going to do the job that you need to do. And the only way we could really do that, and you, as careful as you're being on that end, we are just as careful in choosing our partners also. Uh, we could we could uh, we could do a lot more business than we do. But what we do well, and uh, and it's something where we live off of referrals and that type of thing. Is probably you do. But after you complete your quote, and depending on what it would look like, it doesn't really matter. Then at that point, you're going to want to email it, and this is just something that we have thrown in there. Um, and yes, you could, and and either that or you can print it, and um, you could do whatever you'd like there too. But from there, um, your quotes. So you don't work with sales orders at all. Okay. 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 What we have, we can move from a quote, and if we wanted, we could develop and move from this quote into a sales order, but that's an additional step that you may or may not want to even take. But once you, even from quotes here, um, if we put this on quotes, then it would be very easy to do so. We can create an invoice from from this right here, and it's just a matter of clicking, and we've got an invoice, and it's got all your line items, etc., and who it's going to. From there, you can deal with payment information. You can add a payment or however um, you do your business. I cannot. Um, this this particular Jarvis uh, building that into QuickBooks is not something that is built into this demo software, and it is kind of, but you know, again, that's a bit of a customization, and then you would probably, without question, want all your data that you currently have, regardless of how you keep it. You would probably want to integrate that into the system and have one system that'll handle everything, and you've got it all right there. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Right. What? Tell me what you're keeping in the spreadsheets. Do a quick search, and you got it. Right. One of the things that we'll be able to do for you, if you'd like, if you can detail what we're talking about and give us some of your sheets, for example, like what your quote sheet would look like, what would it have in it, etc. Right. Hey, Richard. Sounds good. Really does. And this is the proper way to approach it too, Gene. It's just, if it's all laid out right and it's approached in the right way, uh, you're going to get what you want uh, at the best price possible. Um, where we find people really end up in spending a lot of money is as they run us down rabbit holes. We start out with one thing, and we get halfway through it, and they've changed their minds and want to go in a different direction, or they want to add this, 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 and this, and we have to start from scratch and rebuild a thing to make it happen. And but if we approach a thing right and we get it all up front and we know where we're going, um, there's no way in the world you can do it for less money than you can with FileMaker. And you've probably already seen that. Oh, absolutely. Sure, sure. Um, it's real easy. If you go, uh, how many users you going to have? Sure. Okay. Right. Okay. Something's not right here. Is that what it was? Well, right, right. I I haven't been on this site in some time. I've been out of the office for 2 weeks. Um, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. Uh, be happy to. Be happy to. Um, yep. Yes. Yes. That's not a bad idea. Um, and yeah, the so you're going to have 6 users. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I think um, so. So you're going to have basically. Well, the thing of it is, though, and I think you'll find this with FileMaker, you're going to have now if you're working with iPad, then that's a little different. Uh, but you're gonna. Oh yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Believe me, they know. Just okay. Okay. All right. Let me check with the people that do that, and as a matter of fact, if you will do me this favor, send me an email telling me what you want me to price, and then I'll run that on up the ladder, and we get back to you pretty quick. I don't think that's the case, but I'll run that by them. Okay. Well, not only that, but if you got somebody that's pretty good in FileMaker, do it yourself, for goodness sakes. No, it's, I mean, that's where we're coming from. We're not interested in getting involved in something that doesn't make sense. And if this particular software doesn't make sense to you, then we'd rather you not have it. Um, right, right. Okay. Listen, do me this favor, so I'll have something that I can carry over to the next office. Uh, Send me that email. Tell me what you're thinking. Okay, and let me get you a price on it, and we'll find out very quickly. Sure. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, Gene. Okay, you too. Bye bye.